What is going on, everybody? Today we are going to be taking a tour of my brand new map that just released. It's called Planet Ikara. It's a battle royale map. I spent so much time into this map. It's unbelievable. Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering how to actually pronounce the name of the map, and in reality, I don't even think there's a proper way to pronounce it. I say Ikara, but I've heard Ikara, I've heard Ikara. There's no proper way to say it, okay? I just kind of thought it sounded cool. But without further ado, let's just jump into the actual game. Now, I'm actually going to be playing in, like the real game, simply because of the fact that I have a bunch of mutator zones around the map. And, it'd be kind of weird to give a tour with all these mutator zones preventing you from breaking terrain. So yeah, that's why we're in the actual game. So we're gonna have to like reset because of the storm, but whatever, it's fine. Starting off with the first biome, we have the volcanic jungle biome. And there is 2 POIs in this biome. First off, we have Gnome Grove. Now, I know this name is awful, but I suck at coming up with names anyway. It really doesn't, it doesn't come off the tongue well, if you know what I mean. The name just doesn't really flow. But yeah, we have Gnome Grove. And yeah, nothing really else to say about it. It's just a bunch of houses. And there's gnomes here. This is one of my favorite parts right here. We have a gnome and whatever this is. I know it's from a hospital. I don't know what it's called, but I thought that was funny for some reason. Something even better in this point of interest is back here. There's the almighty money gnome. He has so much money, dude. He has stacks of cash. But yeah, another thing to note here is that there's slurp barrels, so get shield, I guess. Honestly, not the most exciting POI, but still, I think it's pretty cool. Moving on to the west now, we have a bunch of TPs, or, tents. But one notable thing about landmarks in this map is that there is actually gold lying around at landmarks. I wanted there to be a way for players to get gold, even without eliminating other players, so this is my solution. You're not going to get a lot of gold, but you're going to get some. Moving further on to the west, we have some of these Easter Island heads. I don't know why they're here. I just thought that kind of looked cool. But the main event over here, obviously, is these pyramids. Now, these pyramids are very special. Notice how I'm going to be standing on the big pyramid, okay? And there's a portal down there, so I'm going to jump down the big pyramid into the portal. And now I come out of the small pyramid. Yes, there is portals in this map. And yeah, they all lead to separate pyramids, which I think is pretty cool. I tried to add a lot of unique mechanics, and I think I succeeded. There's a good 4, I believe, POIs with unique mechanics like this. As we move out of the jungle to the grasslands over here, we have what I consider the tilted towers of this map, basically. So we have 2 large buildings. Both of them are apartments. All the apartments look very similar. But one thing about this place that I just love is if I break through here, in the bathrooms of some of these apartments, some weird stuff is happening. like a bunch of mini toilet papers right here. And as you can see in this apartment, there is a ginormous toilet paper behind the door. One notable thing about this area is that there is a vault. So for the very low price of just 50 gold, you can disable these lasers. And there's a little bit of a bug with the conditional buttons right now. Whatever, you can go in here and there's a lot of loot, basically. It isn't really like special loot, it's just kind of extra chests for you to get, basically. Moving on this way, there's a little underpass here. Obviously, it's a landmark, so there's gold. And we move over to the best looking spot, or one of the best looking spots on the entire map. I love this area. I love how it looks. I love the overall vibe. You kind of just get captured within the biome over here in this area. And as you make your way up the path, there's an item spinner, which you can spin and it spins items. I don't... Oh, as you can see, I'm very lucky. Now, there are some smaller points of interest, like these gnome houses, which is basically just an extension of the gnome houses that way. They're basically the same, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, these are there. They do have gold inside of them. I'm not going to be covering all of those tiny places, but just know that they are there. Alrighty, so we are back in game. And the next point of interest that I'd like to talk about is down here. We have the crashed ship. Yeah, I mean, it's not a very big point of interest. Contrary to what you may believe, there is actually a lot of mats here, right? So you break these rocks. These are actually like full-sized rocks just shrunk down. So, I mean, there is a lot of materials here. As you can see, I'm already almost at 300 brick. So, trust me, there's a lot of materials here, even though it doesn't look like it. The only thing about this point of interest is that it's very open, worth landing here anyway, honestly, but it's still viable in my opinion, just not the best place to land. Moving over to the west of whatever this biome is, I don't know, it looks like Mars or something, but without the red and orange. We have cheap knockoff Bonkers Boneyard from the last map. If you played my previous map, you'd know what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's some gold and there's a few chests over there. Moving on to the second point of interest of this biome, and that is Flawed Foundation. And this is basically a abandoned old factory, because the whole idea with this map is that there's a lot of abandoned buildings. There's a lot of just destroyed stuff. Really, they crashed on an alien planet with a society that is just falling apart. Basically, that's the whole theme of this map. So as you can see here, the factory is already abandoned, but a piece of the ship went and crashed down here and basically destroyed this part of the factory. I don't know, I thought that was a nice little detail. There's a lot of secrets in this point of interest. One notable one is if I can get through the door. And this building over here, the farmost east side of the factory, if you go up these steps here and destroy these wooden crates, you get the blue hats are living, which is obviously a reference to the gnomes. But yeah, I'm not gonna cover this point of interest anymore. So let's just move on to the organization over here. In the coral biome, the whole theme for this point of interest is mixing futuristic and old, right? So basically you have the future side over here, and you have these just really worn down old buildings that are really abandoned. So the whole idea is that the organization landed there, and the survivors found this old abandoned town over here, and they basically just transformed it into their own. That's the whole idea. And the interesting mechanic about this point of interest right here is that there are lasers you can disable down here and get into a vault with extra chests and just loot, basically. Moving on to the most scenic point of interest in the entire map. You just walk through this little cavern underpass area, and you're just greeted with the fountain over there, and I think it's just amazing. Welcome to Sad Spikes. I don't know why the spikes are sad, but there is spikes, so that's pretty cool. And trust me, do not sleep on this point of interest, okay? This point of interest has the best thing you can possibly spend your gold on this map, okay? Don't look at these small buildings over here and just think to yourself that because they are small buildings means that it's not a good POI, because trust me, it is. If you go over to this fountain, you can throw some gold in there, and once you do that, this little sequence will play, and you will get a almost guaranteed gold weapon. Now, there is a chance you can get a rusty can, I think. It might be a lump of coal, I don't know, but there is a chance of you to not get your gold's worth, but trust me, the likelihood of you getting a gold weapon greatly outweighs the likelihood of you just, you know, not getting anything good at all. Basically, take the gamble. It's in your favor here. This is the best thing to spend your gold on the entire map. As I got a gold pump again. So, trust me, this is the best spot ever. Anyway, moving on to the last point of interest, we have vibrant vegetables. You know, if you told me that I would be making a map with a garden point of interest in a snow biome that's filled with corals, I'd think you'd be lying. But, you know, here we are. I kind of figured, you know, it's an alien planet, so I'm gonna make a farm point of interest in the snow biome. It makes a lot of sense, I know, but, you know, it's an alien planet. I mean, there's not a lot to say about here, except for the fact that these are not corals. These are indeed vegetables. Okay, they're not they're not coral. They are vegetables. Now, there is 2 buildings in this point of interest. We have the clock tower, and with the clock tower building, they sell the purple vegetables, and then we have this building over here, and they sell the orange ones. And there's a little bit of a spill right here happening. But with that, I think that we covered the entire map. Yeah, okay, I do think we did cover the entire map. So, if you enjoyed this video at all, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you're feeling generous, please consider also using my code in the item shop. And yeah, I think that's gonna have to be it for this video. Goodbye.